Welcome back to my coverage of the 32nd edition of the African Cup of Nations, where in this video I'll cover one fixture from Group D between Ivory Coast and South Africa, and two Group E fixtures, the Mali versus Mauritania fixture and the one between Tunisia and Angola. In the other Group D fixture, Morocco defeated Namibia 1-0 courtesy of a late own goal. So let's start with the Group D fixture between Ivory Coast and South Africa. I made predictions on Twitter and I predicted Ivory Coast to defeat South Africa 2-1, but the game ended 1-0 in favor of the Elephants. In this match, the game's only goal was scored by Jonathan Kodjia in the 64th minute. For Ivory Coast, they had a star-studded lineup that included Nicolas Pepe, Serge Aurier, Jean-Michel Seri, Max Gradel, Frank Kessié, Seri Die, and Jonathan Kodjia. Off the bench came Wilfried Zaha and Maxwell Cornet, who are stars in their own right. In the South African lineup, there was Lebo Motiba, Percy Tau, and Mokotjo. South Africa came into this tournament winning only one of their last 15 African Cup of Nations matches. That's a terrible stat. And I didn't expect them to win this game versus the Elephants. Ivory Coast started this game on the front foot with Nicolas Pepe buzzing. 20 minutes had gone in the game and there were no clear chances for both teams, but South Africa got the first look in on goal, but the header was put wide. At that point in time in the game, it was a very even contest, but things started to swing Ivory Coast's way. Nicolas Pepe had a free kick that struck the woodwork, and then Jonathan Kodjia got in behind. He was 1v1 with the goalkeeper, but instead of using finesse, he went for power and he hit the ball straight to Williams, who pulled off a great save. That's if he even knew what was going on in the moment, because it was a very powerful shot. But I think he chose the wrong option. At halftime, it was still level, and I was saying to myself, South Africa are very fortunate to still be in this game. The second half started and it was a very physical game. South Africa had begun to play themselves into the game, and then as soon as I began to realize that, Ivory Coast struck. It was against the run of play. It was an attack down the left flank. It was fast and it was accurate and it was deadly. It was a nice pass from the left wing up to Max Gradel, who hit it for Jonathan Kodjia running in space, and instead of going for power this time, he went for finesse. He put it past Williams for the game's only goal. In summary, it was a 50-50 affair, but the Ivory Coast were more potent in their attacking third of the field. As for stats in this game, the Ivory Coast had 9 shots at goal with 3 on target, 44% of the possession, 299 passes with a 73% pass accuracy. They committed 24 fouls and picked up 3 yellow cards. It was a very physical game, as I mentioned earlier. As for South Africa, they only had 2 shots at goal, none on target. And I did say that they weren't good in their attacking third of the field. They were not good and they need to improve on that going forward against Namibia and Morocco. They had 56% of the possession. They had the ball, but they didn't do anything with it. They had 388 passes with a 75% pass completion. They committed 21 fouls and picked up 1 yellow. So not a good way to start the tournament for South Africa, but you know who will be happy with their start? The Ivory Coast. Big 3 points to go on top of the table alongside Morocco, who I think are the 2 favorite teams from this group to advance. Remember, you could also advance from the group as one of the best 4 third place teams. For the Ivory Coast, their next fixture will be versus Morocco on Friday the 28th of June. I think this would be their hardest fixture in the group, and it will be one hell of a match to look forward to. As for South Africa, they will play Namibia on the exact same day, and I think that will be their easiest fixture in the group, and if they are to qualify as one of the best third place teams, that's the game to win. It also applies to Namibia against South Africa. These teams are neighbors. It's gonna be a derby. So let's move on to the Group E fixtures, where we saw Tunisia and Angola play to a 1-1 draw, and Mali smashing the debutants Mauritania 4-1. In this game, we saw the Tunisian captain Youssouf Msakni converting a penalty in the 34th minute, and Angola replied to Jalma in the 73rd. Both teams will get 1 point apiece. This was only the second African Cup of Nations meeting between Tunisia and Angola, and the first one ended in a 0-0 draw. These countries like to draw each other in the big tournament. And another thing I noticed is Angola's kit is so beautiful. I really admire it. So props to whoever designed that one, man. That is good. Compared to Tunisia's, that kit is a looker. For the first 30 minutes of the game, it was pretty routine stuff. Both teams saw the ball, but none of them were able to create any clear chances. The first big chance of the game came in the 34th minute when some very fast and slick passing by Tunisia cut apart the Angolan defense. The ball fell nicely to Slitty. He maneuvered around the box and was taken down by the Angolan defender. The referee pointed to the spot. Up stepped Msakni to dispatch it to give Tunisia the lead. And at that point, Tunisia did deserve to go in the lead. They were playing the better football. I think they kept the ball very well and they passed the ball very well in the first half. In the second half, Angola came out and they meant business. I think they played very good football. They did not give up hope despite going behind, and they kept trying, they kept applying the pressure, and Tunisia broke. Angola's equalizer came courtesy of a goalkeeping blunder by Ben Mustafa. The Angolan forward Matthias got a really good shot off that was saved by Ben Mustafa, but he did not hold on to the ball and he parried it into the path of Jalma, who did the rest, who accepted that gift from Tunisia. They give up the lead. I think Tunisia were quite complacent in the second half. They had chances to finish off the game, but they were wasteful and they were made to pay, and they give up 2 points. But all my props goes to Angola for continue fighting in this game and picking up a point, because I did not predict them to beat Tunisia. Tunisia is a very good team and I always mention that. They always go into tournaments as dark horses, but this time around they are going to be challenged. As for stats in the game, Tunisia had 9 shots at goal with 2 on target, 49% of the possession, 78% pass accuracy, 15 fouls, and they picked up 2 yellow cards. For Angola, who played themselves back in the game, they had 9 shots with 3 on target, 51% of the possession, 424 passes with a 76% pass accuracy, 19 fouls, picking up 1 yellow card. Tunisia's next game will be versus Mali on Friday the 28th of June, while for Angola they take on debutants Mauritania on Saturday the 29th of June, which segues nicely into the Mali versus Mauritania fixture. Mauritania are one of the debuts at the 2019 African Cup of Nations, and they are currently ranked below 200 in the FIFA World Rankings. Their captain is the giant of a man, Abdul Bah. Damn, he's big. Another fun fact for you guys, Mali has never lost their opening match of any AFCON they have participated in, and they kept that record alive. The Mali lineup included stars like Adama Traore, Moussa Marega, Sama Sekou, and Moussa Genepo, who was recently signed by Southampton. And those are just to name a few standout players. It was a very open game at the start, and as it progressed, it got really scrappy and physical. But Mali were looking the more threatening of the two teams, while for Mauritania, they were mostly on the back foot. Mali opened the scoring in the 37th minute, courtesy of a beautiful individual goal by Abdoulaye Diaby. They made it 2 in the 45th minute when a penalty was awarded and Moussa Marega stepped up to score. At halftime, it was deservedly 2-0 in favor of Mali. Adama Traore scored a third in the 55th minute, and then Mauritania got a penalty and pegged one back in the 72nd minute through Hassan. And 1 minute later, the substitute Adama Traore, who came on for his namesake, made it 4. A convincing victory to kickstart their 2019 African Cup of Nations campaign. I did predict Mali to do well at this tournament, and they are looking good so far. As for stats in this game, Mali had 19 shots at goal with 9 on target, 54% of the possession, 383 passes with a 76% pass accuracy, 15 fouls, picked up 2 yellow cards. For Mauritania, 7 shots, 1 on target, 46% possession, 329 passes with a 72% pass accuracy, 14 fouls committed, picking up 3 yellows. That's not a good start to the African Cup of Nations campaign at all. But to be completely honest, they weren't expected to do well. At least that's what I think. So after the first round of matches in Group E, we have Mali on top 3 points, Angola second 1 point, Tunisia third 1 point, and Mauritania at the bottom without a point. So guys, that's it for my recap of those fixtures from Group E and that one from Group D. If you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button, give the video a big fat like, share it with a friend, and in the comment section down below, be honest guys and tell me who you think is gonna win the entire 2019 African Cup of Nations. So guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Okay.